So When Harry Met Sally is a romantic comedy that was released in 1989, directed by Rob Reiner, in which we follow two characters, Harry and Sally, who in the film are portrayed by Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, who at first, when we first meet these two characters, they cannot stand each other. As a matter of fact, they are repulsed by one another. However, not only as time goes on, but as the two of them continue to bump into each other, they actually develop a friendship, but soon that friendship develops into something to say tad bit more. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say, welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button to them. It's a feature video, or it's a feature review, reaction, top 5, top 10, or whatever I have coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not going to miss the cool stuff I have coming your way. And for those of you who are coming back to my channel, by the way, welcome back, everybody. You have no idea how happy I'm to see your faces once again. And let's start our conversation below as well. What did you guys think of When Harry Met Sally? This is one of your favorite romantic comedies. This is one of your favorite movies of all time. Let me know below. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into When Harry Met Sally.
Excellent!
So knowing that this week, well, in particular, this Friday is Valentine's Day, I thought I would spend today and Friday covering some of my favorite romantic comedies of all time. And well, guys, since today is Monday, it is time for me to cover one of my favorite, not only my favorite romantic comedy movies, but one of my favorite movies directed by Rob Reiner. And that is, well, if you didn't already see the title or the thumbnail, today I'm going to be covering one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time, and that is When Harry Met Sally. Even before I first saw this film, I knew just how much of an impact not only this movie had on romantic comedy movies, but on filmmaking in particular. This is one of those movies that has had such a great impact on how romantic comedies have been made, especially ever since that film has been made. There is always some type of blueprint, a joke, a line, or reference from those future romantic comedies that was made easily an homage back to When Harry Met Sally. And if I can recall, guys, I believe the first time that I saw When Harry Met Sally, I believe I was in college. This was either in 2013 or 2014, and I finally decided to put it on just to see, okay, will my first time watch this movie live up to the hype and all the expectations that I have from everything that I had heard about it? And guys, to say that I absolutely loved this movie the first time I saw it as an absolute artist. I was smiling, I was laughing, and there were even a couple of spots where, no joke, I was tearing up a little bit, because knowing a special relation between Harry and Sally, portrayed brilliantly by Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. Not only did I love these two, I loved the writing, I loved the humor, I loved the directing, Rob Reiner's directing. This is one of those movies that you can easily see why people have regarded, why a lot of people have called it one of the greatest romantic comedies of all time. And absolutely is it? Yes, I love this movie so much. There are only two performances that I have to talk about here: Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. Before I continue, I want to talk about these two, because believe me when I say this, guys, I'm going to spend a lot of time in this video talking about how magnificent these two are, along with Rob Reiner's writing and the screenwriting by Nora Ephron. Believe me, I'm going to be praising the shit out of this movie, so please bear with me and bear how annoying I'll be in gushing about this movie. One person that I must talk about is Carrie Fisher, who, R.I.P., one of the greatest talents who ever lived. I completely forgot that Carrie Fisher was in this movie, and once she appeared in there, I was literally just going like, that's fucking Carrie Fisher! She has some of the best laughs in this movie too. When Harry Met Sally is easily, without a doubt, one of the best casted romantic comedies of all time, and that is because of two particular people, Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, who are dynamite in this movie. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan make this movie succeed. And don't get me wrong too, guys, Nora Ephron's writing is brilliant, and Rob Reiner directed the hell out of this movie, especially when it came down to his character work on this movie and the way how he was able to guide us through the story about two people who were definitely hated each other at first, developed a friendship, even more than friendship at first. But let's be real here, guys. If it wasn't for Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, this movie would not have worked nearly as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I think this movie would still have been a good film. It would have been a very good film, as a matter of fact, if it was two different people cast in these roles. But Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan defined these roles. Seeing these two who at first absolutely despise each other, even though they can't stop talking to one another, even though they just are repulsed by one another, especially in the sequence when Harry doubts that Sally has had incredible sex, and Sally just says, without even thinking, and a building with so many people, and she goes like, "Excuse me, sir, I have had plenty of incredible sex." That one bit is one of those classic record stops and everyone just zips right on over moments. I mean, holy crap, is that such a great moment in this movie. This movie is full of some of the most memorable moments in romantic comedy history. I mean, not just that moment, the fake orgasm scene. This movie is full of some of the funniest, some of the most heartbreaking, some of the most heartwarming, and some of the most memorable moments in romantic comedy movies. There is no doubt about that. There's something about them that keeps these two drawn to each other. They're clearly at odds with one another, and they do clearly have different ways of thinking, especially when it comes to relationships, sex, love. If there's something in particular that I absolutely about this relationship, it's how it evolves from absolute hatred and repulsion to actually genuinely caring for them, not as friends, but best friends, slowly moving into somewhat of a relationship that does seem to fail at first, and then it moves on to something quite loving at the end. This is one of those movies that does such a great look at not only platonic relationships, but also, romantic relationships. This movie does such a great look and such an intelligent look at how those relationships do work out. And not to mention as well, the big question that this movie proposes, and that is this: can men and women be friends without the sex? And I gotta tell you all, this movie dives in that question so brilliantly. And do I have an answer to that question? My answer to that question? Abso-freaking-lutely yes, it is possible. And the other reason why, the third reason why this movie works so well, Rob Reiner's directing. Rob Reiner in the 80s made some kick-ass flick. When Harry Met Sally, not to mention as well, The Princess Bride, Spinal Tap. This is Spinal Tap. I mean, look at what this guy has done, and you cannot tell me that this guy was a hit director in the 80s. I just realized that what I'm saying has probably been repeated and echoed by many other people who no doubt love this movie. I'm just the guy that's gushing about my love for this movie because I truly do believe that When Harry Met Sally is not only one of the greatest romantic comedies ever made, but one of the greatest films ever made. I mean, yeah, there's enough said.
Well, that's just fucking great!
The only real issue I could think of is that it's not my favorite Rob Reiner movie, but that's it.
And here we go.
So overall, I absolutely flarking love When Harry Met Sally. Whether it comes down to Rob Reiner's direction, Nora Ephron's screenplay, and not to mention as well, the brilliant performances and chemistry between Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, this movie is often regarded by everybody who I talk to and everybody who has seen this movie as one of the greatest romantic comedies of all time. And is it? Yeah, you're freaking right, it is. When Harry Met Sally is not only one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time, but it is also one of my favorite movies of all time. All in all, I'm gonna give When Harry Met Sally a 6 out of 5. If you have not this movie, guys, if you have a wife, girlfriend, or just whatever you're doing on Valentine's Day, watch this movie. It is such a brilliant watch for that day specifically. It's just a great movie all around. Just watch the movie. It's so good. I hope you all enjoyed my review of When Harry Met Sally. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike the review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click it right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I'll see you all next time.